Capricorn had many men, she began, and every one of them was feared in the surrounding towns and villages. They stank of cold smoke, they stank of sulfur, and everything that reminds you of fire. Whenever one of them passed by, people closed their doors and hid under the stairs with their children. They were feared by day, and by night they made their way into dreams and poisoned them. But there was one who was feared even more than Capricorn's villains. Folk called him Capricorn's shadow. He came only when Capricorn called him. Sometimes he was red as fire, sometimes grey as the ash to which fire turns all that it devours. He darted out of the earth as fast as flames lick their way upward. His fingers and even his breath brought death. He rose before his master's feet, soundless, faceless, scenting his way like a hound on the trail and waiting for his master to point to the victim. Maggie's voice died away as if the wind had blown it from her lips. Something was rising from the gravel that covered the football field. It grew taller. It stretched its ashen limbs. The night air suddenly stank of sulfur. That stench burned Maggie's eyes so that the letters blurred, but she must go on reading while the eerie creature grew taller and taller. Yet one night, a mild and starlit night, the shadow heard not Capricorn's voice when it was called forth, but the voice of a girl. And when she called his name, he remembered. The figure had no face, that was true, but it had eyes, terrible eyes, red as the embers of a hidden fire. How soundlessly it moved, that terrible, gigantic figure. The night air suddenly stank of sulfur. It stretched its ashen limbs. He remembered all those from whose ashes he was made, all the pain and all the grief. He remembered, she read on in a loud, clear voice, and he was determined to be avenged upon those who were the cause of all this misfortune, whose cruelty poisoned the whole world. There stood the shadow. His memories hurt so much they almost tore him apart. He heard them in his head, all those screams and sighs. He thought he could feel tears on his grey skin. Their fear burned his eyes like smoke. Then, quite suddenly, he felt something different. Something that made him shudder and forced him to his knees. Then, his whole terrible figure disintegrated, and suddenly they were all back again, all the beings from whose ashes the shadow had been made, men, women and children, dogs and cats, goblins, fairies and many more as well. They woke as if from a bad dream, and, at last, everything was all right again.